The medical examiner has arrived on scene at a 20-acre ranch in Valley Center, where the sheriff's department is searching for the remains of a 65-year-old foster mother.
Hundreds of people gather at corners across San Diego County for a day of good trouble. A piece of San Diego history up for sale. The building that houses Las Quatros Milpas and the property next door up for sale with a nearly $2 million price tag.
If you live near the airport and you're sick of the noise, there's now millions of dollars in new funding up for grabs to soundproof your place for free.
Smiles and capybaras are waiting for you in Palma Valley at Nurtured by Nature.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts right now.
The medical examiner's van just left the scene in Valley Center, where sheriff's homicide investigators have been searching for 2 days for the remains of a 65-year-old foster mother. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. CBS 8's David Goffredson is live at the scene with the latest from there and with new information about a court case involving the woman's foster son. David.
Carlo, sheriff's deputies have just left the scene here in the 14,000 block of Oak Creek in Valley Center. They were here serving a search warrant at this 20-acre ranch behind me, looking for the remains of 65-year-old Nadine Jett. Now let's take a look at some video I just shot on my cell phone of the area they were searching. It is a large hole, piles of dirt all over the place, and small red flags all over the earth and the surrounding area. Presumably that was evidence flags and evidence that they took out of this area. Now let's go back to some other video. A few hours ago, we saw a medical examiner's van drive into the ranch. Though the sheriff's department still has not confirmed whether a body has been found, Jett was an attorney and a foster mother to 4 young girls, identical quadruplets, who are now young adults. The last time they saw their foster mother was in December of 2023. She had been diagnosed with cancer, and another foster son, Charles Van Ferdinand, had been taking care of Jett here on the ranch. The girls say they stopped getting updates from their mom, and the foster son told them their mom had died in Mexico on Easter of last year. After that, they say Charles took over ownership of the ranch and tried to sell it. One of the daughters spoke to a real estate agent last year.
And she did say there was one instance where, she brought a buyer onto the ranch, and Charles did state, hey, if you guys end up buying the ranch, I would like you guys to plant roses in this specific area. And this is the same area that someone else I interviewed said Charles was digging at midnight to 3 a.m. in the morning.
Now, these are photos of the foster son, Charles Van Ferdinand, in San Diego court earlier this year. He pleaded not guilty to forging property records, allegedly quit claiming Jett's ranch and her 2 other properties in Los Angeles to himself. His preliminary hearing is now set for September, and he remains out of custody. Now, back here live, I spoke to his defense attorney, who told me Ferdinand was a loving son to his mother, and he denies any wrongdoing in her death.
David Goffredson reporting live for us from Valley Center. Some very interesting developments there today. Thanks, David. Immigration officials will now have access to the personal data of the nation's 79 million Medicaid enrollees.
This data, including ethnicities and home addresses, will be used to track down people who may be living in the U.S. illegally. This came after the Homeland Security Department reached an agreement with the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Immigrants who live in the U.S. illegally, are not allowed to enroll in Medicaid, but a federal law requires that all states offer emergency Medicaid as temporary coverage to anyone needing life-saving services, including non-U.S. citizens.
Right now, hundreds are gathering across San Diego County to join the national movement called Good Trouble Lives On.
It's a day of nonviolent action marking 5 years since the death of Congressman John Lewis, a civil rights icon. He coined the term good trouble to describe peaceful resistance against injustice.
CBS 8's Abby Black is live at Waterfront Park with how San Diegans are honoring the congressman's memory. Abby.
Carlo and Marcella, we're just here on the perimeter of this Good Trouble Lives On rally here at Waterfront Park, and we were live here at 5 o'clock, and just in the last hour this crowd has grown exponentially from hundreds to at least we think about 1,000 people are here gripping their signs of resistance. Now these events have been going on all day today. We started in El Cajon, they stretched across San Diego County corners, people calling for peaceful action in John Lewis's spirit. Hundreds of people have gathered across San Diego County today for Good Trouble Lives On event, with hundreds in El Cajon, Carmel Valley, and here at Waterfront Park, among other locations. They're joining a national day of nonviolent action, marking 5 years since civil rights icon John Lewis died.
I went to see him speak, but right before he passed, and I like the idea of making sure that our voices are heard in a nonviolent way.
The late congressman championed the term Good Trouble to describe peaceful action that challenges injustice. Organizers are calling today more than a protest, but a moral reckoning.
You have to do your civic duty. It's your duty to be here if you disagree with what's going on.
Participants are being asked to peacefully resist, but the urgency is palpable, staying true to Lewis's philosophy of nonviolent resistance.
If we don't do something before the midterms, or I'm not exactly sure what will stop him prior to the midterms, if we make it through the midterms. I can see him pulling some crazy stunt by declaring martial law.
Well, some Republican leaders have dismissed the events as organized opposition. That's exactly why people say they're standing on corners with signs of resistance against President Trump and his administration.
We want to make sure that we protect the privileges and the rights that we have won through many hard years. And John Lewis was one of the pioneers who fought for that.
Now, we have not heard from President Trump addressing these Good Trouble gatherings that we've seen today, but a White House spokesperson, Liz Houston, she says that President Trump is just enacting the agenda that he campaigned on and restoring order. Reporting live on the Embarcadero, Abby Black, CBS 8. Big turnout. Thanks so much for that update, Abby. The San Diego Foundation is funding the construction of nearly 1,000 new affordable housing units here in San Diego.
This is part of a $14 million partnership with Sandag. The money will go toward 10 local projects, building hundreds of units in neighborhoods that include Escondido, San Isidro, and Mission Valley. Earlier today, I talked to the CEO of Casa Familiar and the CFO of the San Diego Foundation about how this funding will support long-term growth in the community.
This grant was so instrumental because it was literally the last piece to be able to start construction in October.
That is good news.
103 homes, townhome style design. It will eventually convert into a home ownership opportunity for all 103 families. So
the goal is to have at least 660 of these units made available as soon as 2027.
The building that houses a San Diego icon is up for sale. Las Quatros Milpas and the property next door are now for sale for just under $2 million. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal spoke with the family that owns the restaurant, who says this decision wasn't easy.
And it was a difficult decision. The family says they've been talking about this for a few years. So despite recent headlines about all the financial stuff, they say this decision wasn't about that and that it's simply time for a new chapter.
It hasn't been easy, but it has been decided, and my aunt has made the decision to bring an ending to this chapter for the family and the business.
Beatriz Rodriguez gets emotional talking about the end of an era here in Barrio Logan. The property that houses Las Quatros Milpas and the building next door went up for sale yesterday for nearly $2 million.
There's so many hard things, but closing the chapter of a dream that started in 1930 from my great-grandparents, I think that's the hardest.
But she says she understands the owners, now in their 80s, have been working at the restaurant since they were children.
And it's a big part of their identity, the community's identity.
Listing agent Sincletica Maestra said the owners have been going back and forth about selling for a long time.
It's not because of financial burden, it's because they're ready to let go. And that is a difficult decision, especially as a family, to make.
From our drone, you can see how large the property is. The listing also includes a detached home, apartments, and a garage. Inside, there are family portraits on the walls. It's not unusual for the line of customers to stretch down the block. News of the sale especially tough for the regulars who've been coming here since they were kids.
It's a family tradition, family atmosphere.
So even as I was eating there this morning, I realized that I need to bring my daughter before it shuts down, just so she has that personal experience and attachment to this great establishment.
And to the community, Rodriguez says she is grateful.
I could not say enough thank yous to the community because Cuatro Milpas has continued standing because of community.
And the family hopes the right buyer comes forward. Now, whomever purchases the property potentially could also negotiate buying the restaurant as well. I'm told that they have gotten interest from people who are looking at potentially preserving the business as well as the property as a whole. Kelly Hessedal, CBS 8.
Thank you, Kelly. San Diego officials are rolling out how a proposal showing how paid parking in Balboa Park would work. Parking lots inside the park would be split into 3 price tiers based on proximity to the center of the park. San Diego residents would be able to get a discount through a permit system. The city also wants to install parking meters and charge $2.50 per hour for streets, including Park Boulevard and 6th Avenue. The proposal will be presented to City Council by the end of the month. A rare but radiant sea creature was spotted on one of our beaches.
We'll have more on what makes the discovery of these purple snails so special.
Plus, if you live near San Diego International Airport, we'll explain how you can get soundproofing done for free.
And there is a whole lot of moisture in the air from our mountains all the way to the coast. We could see some thunderstorms late tonight. And then we have a whole lot of below average temperatures tomorrow, followed by sunshine. Keep it here.